Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Check it out, look what we have today. The FMS 800mm P51 Mustang with the Reflex V2. Pretty awesome systems they have here. Of course, it's done in the beautiful, big beautiful doll. Very cool looking airplane. Here's the box that it comes in. Here's the specs for those that don't know yet. So it's a 31.5 inch wingspan, 27.2 inches long. 20 amp ESC, 9 gram servos. You're going to need a 7.4 volt, so a 2S 1300 milliamp to operate this airplane. And yeah, so let's go ahead and see what's in the box. I never opened these before. I could do it with you guys, so this is a first for all of us at the same time. Let's see what you get. And we're clearly upside down. Okay, nothing else in the box. Here's the Reflex. It's right on the wing. That's pretty cool. For those that don't know, this is a really awesome gyro system. Yeah, it's not quite light, but anyways, you get the idea. So it looks like we're going to have to put the control surface, or the control rods and stuff on. They're not installed yet. So again, with foam planes, you always want to work these surfaces, free them up, make that servo work as little as possible. But finish is really nice. I like little details. Pretty cool. Here's your manual. Looks like the pilot ejected in shipping. Still in perfect shape. At least it has a pilot in there. That's pretty cool. Really like that. Propellers down in here. Got a really cool looking 4-blade prop. You gotta love that. Anything else in there? Nope. And here we have some goodies. So here we got some scale decals for the propeller nomenclature. Here's your control linkages, some screws, a bunch of other stuff. Here's an antenna, scale antenna, and you got a USB mode C to plug in the Reflex if you need to tune or modify it for something else. And here you have your drop tanks. Cute little guys. And here, what do we have? Oh, here we have the landing gear. Appears to be everything in there. So they just pop in really easy. So if you want to take off and land on pavement, or if you want to belly land on grass, you can do whatever you want to do. I've seen people fly this off grass too, so I don't know what the limit of the grass is. But so here's the elevator halves. Again, free those up. Makes quite a bit of difference. You probably couldn't hear it over my babbling, but that will go together and go into the airplane. And I don't think there's anything else left but the aircraft. Nope. So here's that. Looks really nice. I love the prop detail. The two colors is going to look really cool when it's flying and spinning. We just need some little Gooniac stacks to put on this bad boy, right? Nice looking little airplane. Looks really good. So the speed control is up in there. You can see the tail servos are back in there. You're going to need a JST plug for your 2S battery. And then you've got your servo wires here are labeled throttle and rudder and elevator. So there's that. So there's all the pieces. Let me get set up here and we'll get on to the build. So the first thing in the manual, it wants you to take the elevators and put them together. It's probably so you can get a visual on how they're going to go. Got to get it in the notches there. Then you'll see it works this way. So if it goes on the airplane this way, you need to get your control horn here, and it needs to go forward, like such. So when it's on there, it's going to connect. So with that said, then you'll put this plastic piece on the top, And then you're going to take 2 of the small screws and run them into the control horn and tighten them down with a screwdriver, little tiny Phillips. Next in the manual, they want you to put the control horn on the rudder, so that will go onto this side here. So push it on there, push it through, and then again on the other side, make sure you work that. You're going to put the plastic plate, will go onto here, and then you'll use 2 of the screws. Now it does say in the manual that, because it comes with short and longs, you want the longer one to be on the thicker part and the shorter on the thinner part of the surface. You guys can see those guys, but then you're going to take a tiny Phillips and put those in place. Double check them. Okay, they're good. So now we have that completed. I'm going to wait to hook up the linkage until the receiver is installed. That way I know everything's centered and I can adjust these easily from there. Next thing in the manual is it wants you to do the ailerons next. So again, I'm not going to put the linkages on. I'll put the control horns on. Obviously pointing forward. Same on the other side. Plate on the back. Longer screws on the thicker part of the surface. Shorter ones in the back. So there's how they look completed. Top and bottom. 2 screws per. And work the surfaces, make sure they're free. I've already done that quite a bit. So the next step they want you to do is install it onto the fuselage. So you want to do that. You're going to take your wires and feed them up through there. Put this in place, and it's going to take 2 screws to secure it. This one here goes into the aileron port. The ground wire goes to the end. And install that after it's installed. I can see it looks like that's the hang-up. Let's give that a try. Okay. Now we need to find that one back, which was this one here. That goes from the aileron servos, and plug that back into the aileron port, like so. You guys can see in there. And then we'll secure that wing with 2 of these longer screws and a Phillips screwdriver. So the wing is secure. And here's all the connections. I'm just going to tuck them in there and put the canopy on for now until we need to worry about that after we get the horizontal and everything on. Next step will be installing your horizontal. They want you to glue this into place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test fit it first. Make sure everything fits like it should. Let's see here. There we go. Kind of do a trial fit. Make sure everything's kosher. Looks pretty good. So now I'll remove it. We'll put glue in between them and all around them and stick it in there and secure it into place. So you'll want to put glue also where this thing goes on there to make sure that the joiner is glued on. You want glue on here and glue on the surface here all around. Don't glue the outside of this. You'll just want to glue where it overlaps here. So underneath this. There is glued into place. I just put foam safe CA on it. All the bits I told you, I put it inside the pocket on the fuselage, put it on the ends of the horizontals and where the joiner goes, stuck it in there, kind of held it. I had to twist mine a little bit this way to make sure it's perfectly level with the wing. You want to measure it out, make sure everything is square, but it's in place. I'm letting it finish dry right now. And then we'll move on to, looks like we'll probably have the gear and receiver next. Next would be landing gear. So the way these go in is there's a little hole, or back here there's a little hole at the end of the deal. So you'll want it to go, get this into there, get it go into there. Once it's all the way in, it'll flip forward, and then you can lock your little tab into place. Get it down into the groove really well, and then that tab will pop in place and lock. There it goes. My first time doing it. I didn't practice it off camera, so you guys know when I do things, it's real. Again, so we'll get that one, push it down into the groove really well. And then this little tab, you got to kind of pull it up and get it into where it's got to go, because it moves out of the way quite a ways. There we go. Come on. There we go. Snaps right in there. So there's that. Hope you guys could see what I did there. It's not too hard, but there's a little method to it. Not a big deal. Now this bad boy will sit on its own wheels. Look at that. Beautiful little airplane. Then obviously at the field, since no tools are required to take them off, just pop the tab, pull them out, and you're good to go on belly landing. Receiver stuff. So since the reflex is in position, now you have to plug all these servos into it. So it's labeled on there pretty easily. You guys will see when you get one, but we have the ailerons. Obviously we got to do the elevator, rudder, or elevator, throttle, and rudder, it says on there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that next. All the servo connections are in the reflex now. Well, you can see it under the spaghetti here. So now I'm going to tuck a bunch of these wires I don't need up, because all I need is the ones for the receiver now. Got everything buttoned up really well in there, so now it's time to hook all these to a receiver. For receiver, I have an AR-620. Got no antennas. About as easy as it gets for putting a receiver in an airplane right there. So on these, channel 1 is throttle, then aileron, elevator, rudder, and then you're going to have your switch mode, so you can have the reflex in whatever mode you want. I'm just going to go ahead and shove that in channel 5, the gear mode. So that's it for that. Now we'll need a battery and we can bind it up. Alright, so to bind this, you got to hold the button down, or you can put the bind plug in. This is just as easy. Obviously not the flight battery, it's just what I have handy to get it going. So once it's flashing, you let go into your receiver, go to bind.
Binding. Bind complete DSMX 22 milliseconds.
There you go.
Telemetry.
Now the reflex is doing its thing. Okay, all of them are functioning. Leaving the throttle. So I'm going to go ahead and do a throttle calibration while we're at it. Unplug, full throttle, plug it back in. Wait for it to beep, go to idle. Okay, throttle's calibrated. Perfect. Don't forget to set up your kill switch. I have not yet. That's why I leave the propellers off. That way there's no danger. Okay, now that servos are working. Oh, it's angry. I'll flip the gear switch so it's not in the leveling mode. That way you can see how everything is going to work here. So now that everything is centered right now, I'm going to go ahead and put the linkages on and have the surfaces centered, and then we'll be right back. Put that one in the middle hole for a little more throw. See how that goes. So I have the reflex set on my gear switch. So gear down typically is just stabilized mode. You can see it's working. It's just going to kind of help smooth the bumps out, not fly the airplane for you like people that don't know anything about gyros think. Then when I flip gear up, auto level, you can see it's already wanting to bring the nose up. So if you bank, this is good for like hand launching and stuff. It'll keep that sucker level until you can get control and get ready to go. So there you go. Okay, awesome. There we go. And let's screw that into place. Good. Spins the right way. Sounds good. Fantastic. Gotta love a big 4-blade propeller. My receiver just wedged right in there really nice, so I'm just going to put it there. Make sure you do your range checks. The battery goes up in here. It's got these little notches on the foam to keep it from sliding back. And it also says now to put the little scale antenna that it comes with. You'll put some glue on it. That'll fit in there for a cool touch. And then they called them oil tanks. Just slide into place in the little grooves. Just like so. Kind of a cool little touch, I think. And of course you have your stickers for the propeller to add a little scale touch to that as well. Nomenclature added to the propeller. Looks cool. Gives it a little touch. I glued the antenna in here, little foam safe CA, stuck that sucker in there. CG, I don't have the right size battery yet. I need to go get one. I thought I did, but I do not. Is 65 millimeters back from the front edge of the wing there. So that's, I put a little mark here. Low wing, you balance inverted, right? So you'll do it like so. And yeah, that's really pretty much it as far as the build goes. It's ready to fly once the CG is right and a range check is good. So I hope you found that useful. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out the links down below in the description. Let me know what you think. Appreciate you guys watching this, and we'll catch you on the next one. See you at the field.